Oh, there's something in the hedgerows again, isn't it? Here it comes. It's a timber. It's having a whittle. It's having a tissle. It's going back in again. So hello, hello, hello. Today I'd like to take a look at these jackets, which I think are superb. They're disruptive pattern material British Army jackets. One is from the 1960s, 1960 pattern on the left, and the other is for the 1968 pattern, which was actually introduced into the British Army in around 1971, and it's an early pattern jacket. So on the face of it they both look the same, but they are very, very different. So the 1960 pattern jacket, first off, there's the label for you. It says on there Smock Combat 1960 pattern, so it's a bit of a giveaway. And then there's a contract number. These are size 7, both jackets are size 7, and there's the A78CLO is the clothing contract number, and this one was made by James Smith and Company from Derby. So the 60s jackets are quite unique in the sense that they've got this stitched collar. Originally there was an olive drab jacket that was worn in the 50s, and this was the first venture into camouflage, as it were, in the British Army. They had these epaulettes, and you could have a hood for them. Another giveaway for the 60s jacket is this definite division down the back of it. Very different from the later jacket, which doesn't have that stitched division, as it were, and neither more does the later jacket have the stitched collar. So inside the jacket you've got some instructions on how to keep the jacket, how to lubricate the zip, and what to do in cold weather. And the hood, you can straight away then see that the jacket is only 3/4 lined, but there's a cotton lining with 2 internal pockets, one on either side, but it's only a 3/4 lining. These drawstrings won't be original. I know that because I put them in there myself. They pretty much, this one pretty much looks like the original one would have looked, but they're not original. Also, the jacket has a 3/4 zip, which is quite a hefty old zip. AZF, it's in good shape. That's the original zip. 3/4, as I say, and there's no what's called beaver tail in this jacket. So in the later jacket you had a full lining. That's the jacket label for that one, so you can read that for yourself. Again, as I say, it's a size 7, but this time the jacket has a full liner, much the same instructions, except this time the label is green as opposed to white, and there are 3 buttons which would pertain to this beaver tail, which would have gone under your legs. You can unbutton this, goes under your legs, and then you can keep the drafts out. This jacket's missing some of the buttons. Probably they've been robbed to be used for the actual jacket itself. I notice also there's some buttons missing off the sleeves. There should be 2, as per this jacket. The earlier 61, there's 2. There's a regulator and a cuff adjustment. These, however, are the original cords on this later 1971 release jacket, except it only has 1 internal pocket. This time on the left. On the right hand side there is no internal pocket. Still the same rig, epaulettes. With the collar, this one buttons around slightly differently to the original jacket of the 1960s era, which has like a little tab. So that's another giveaway. You've got a 60s jacket, smaller button. Scottish flags, not sure what's that's all about. I haven't added these, they were on the jacket when I got it. Also on the earlier jacket you have elbow reinforcements, which you do not have on the later jacket. You don't get those. So these jackets get very heavy when they're wet. This one worse than that one, because that one obviously only has a 3/4 liner, cotton liner, whereas this one has a full cotton liner. Another thing to notice that the earlier 60 jacket doesn't have a pen pocket on the left sleeve, whereas this later one does. So that's another giveaway between the two jackets. You can see this is an early pattern because of these little dots. So these earlier pattern jackets were susceptible to the 1960s and 1970s night vision. They used to stand out quite luridly. So the British Army decided to darken the camouflage, and it later became a much darker tone of camouflage, didn't it, mate? It's true. It's all true. And they were less susceptible to being spotted by the Russian night vision that was being used at the time. And so you've got, instead of the pen pocket on the earlier jacket, you've got a sort of a pen pocket here on the top left breast pocket. You've got 4 pockets. Interestingly, on the earlier 1960s jacket, they're all buttoned pockets. They have elasticated base pockets. The base ones are elasticated, as you can see here. The elastic's in very good order on this jacket, actually. Quite amazing for a jacket of this age, really, bearing in mind it's 60 plus years old. The later jacket didn't have the elastication. They're what's called flat pockets as well. It wasn't until the 1985 pattern that the jacket pockets became bellows, so they were slightly more, they had slightly more capacity. These are flat sewn. Both jackets have flat sewn pockets. This jacket has a full metal zip, slightly different model. It says there's an L on there. I'm not so sure what that stands for. L. You can get other thicker makes of zip as well than this, but this one is an original zip for sure. It's an original zip, but a later model. So I hope you found this of some interest. Oh, these ties are original to this jacket. I recognise these green draw cords as being an original item, whereas, as I said before, this jacket, they're not original. I know that because I fitted them myself. Also, you don't get this pop stud normally. This pop stud regulator that's on the jacket has been added by somebody, probably because I don't know why, probably because they had a bit of a draft up there from the zip, because it's only a 3/4 zip. Maybe it was a problematic thing, so they thought that they had this pop stud to make things a little bit more cushy, as they say in the Only Fools and Horses. Yeah, you get a hanger to hang it up. They take ages, forever to dry, these jackets. When they get wet, it's a nightmare, which is why obviously they eventually were phased out of service, and more modern jackets were made, lighter weight. The 85 was a bit of a catastrophe. Used to fall apart. Some soldiers called it the clown's jacket because the pockets used to fall off. And effectively after that they became Soldier 90 pattern, which was a gabardine cotton. They were very successful, but they didn't last long, because in 1995 the Soldier 95 or the S95 pattern took over for the DPM, which was the last serving one. I think there was an upgrade, Soldier 2000 or something, which was a sort of a ripstop fabric, but then obviously they moved over to the multi-terrain pattern, the MTP. So anyway, as I say, I hope you found this of some interest. These are great jackets for collectors, by the way. The 60s are coming up very expensive now. Point at it. What's that? Who's that? Going by. I've got cross eyes, me. I can tell you. When I look at you, I'm talking to somebody else. But now these jackets are becoming very collectible, so you can expect to pay a few £100 for some of them if they're in big sizes, wearable sizes, good condition. The 68 pattern, I should say, but issued in 1971. Yeah, they're climbing the ladder of costs now for collectors too. A goodly collectible jacket, and still usable if you're interested in outdoors. Yeah, you can still wear them. Nice dry day. They're good camouflage. You know, all's well. All is well that ends well, as they say. I don't know where Jimmy's gone. Probably back to the house because it's cold, isn't it? Oh look, the fox has been digging. He's been digging out his. Oh, look at that, you little monkey. He's been digging out he's got a little hidey hole in there. Funny little fella. I'll have to tidy that up. I'll do it later after winter, mind you, because the poor little devil needs rest and relaxation out of the snow. Anyway, all the very best wishes. Thanks ever so much for watching. If you've got this far, I really appreciate it, as always. Cheers for now. Bye.